You're clones. You're copies of people out here in the world.
What?
Clones?
What?
Copies? What are you talking about?
Why?
It's the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello and welcome back. I'm back, and been a few personal things going on in our lives, and we're now back. The 179 episodes. Next week will be the big 180.
180.
And then it's the big countdown to the big 200.
Yeah, what are we doing for that?
And so over in the far corner is my dear friend Copeland. How are you, sir?
Hello,
And
sir.
Martin, by the gods of science fiction. Sorry, I've not been uploading for a while, but I will get back to it. And we've got so much to talk about today.
Absolutely.
It's just, I cannot believe.
No, we might have to have an extended one.
Yes.
And I gotta just give a big thanks to Malcolm last week for chipping in
Yes,
and joining
thank
in
you,
and reviewing the Peter Cushing movies,
And-
which was quite an interesting.
And
one to
I'd like
discuss.
to say, and if you do, please support the podcast, please subscribe, but give us a like, it helps both our
I've
channels.
updated my graphics, by the way, if you can tell.
Oh, you spoiled the moment then. Bloody hell, we're trying to be like YouTube professional, you know when
Go
they
on. I'll shut up now. Go on.
No, carry on. You've ruined it. It doesn't matter.
No. I was just going to chip
right,
in
okay,
because,
right.
join us for the podcast. I've just redesigned the logo with thanks to some AI mixing and some Photoshop and stuff like that. And it's got to be done. I did try and think about the actual logo being changed, right, as well as us, but it didn't. I couldn't see a good one, so I kept the original logo, which I quite like anyway. So, please subscribe. Obviously, we've got Martin's Sci-Fi Appeal.
So
where,
if you like the channel, please subscribe. Give us a like
please
and share the
subscribe.
video.
Yeah,
And welcome to the Solo One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Yeah, it's strange. It's like coming out of a time warp, isn't it? We've not sort of been together for over a month, which is a big gap for us. But as Martin said, we've had things going on in our personal lives, which some have been good, some have been bad, but we're getting through it, and we are now back, and we are in the midst of a lot of science fiction coming on with a new Star Trek Discovery, new Doctor Who, new Star Wars Acolyte.
Start me on Doctor Who.
Let's okay. We're going to go into some sort of general topics
Right.
before our focus. So,
I
all right, go
want
on.
to say, right, we'll start with this.
Go on.
I want to say Ghostbusters.
I don't know spoilers, but I've heard it's shite.
Right, let's end of that conversation then.
I'm waiting until it's actually released digitally, but I did think about going to see it. And I shout out to Al Smith on YouTube I follow, who he's a big Ghostbusters fan, and he's literally his favourite movie.
I saw his review. I saw it.
You know, because he's been on he reviewed Ghostbusters with us ages ago, and he was just like pretty downbeat about it, and he was just saying apparently it was poorly written. It felt like a rush job. It felt like an early draft that they put together without actually going through it, and
Yeah,
don't know.
so I went to see it with a dear friend, and she said to me after, she said, we saw it, like, so she's not, well, she sort of floats, she sort of meets you halfway with science fiction, like, and so she came along, you know, which were good, and she said, we got out at the cinema after. I said, what did you think of that? She basically said, well, it was a bit shit. I'm a liar. And then she said to me, she said, well, I didn't want to stay up, Martin, but I saw the review before I met you today. It got panned. That were on its day of release. It got hammered.
yeah.
And look. So I'm gonna give it. We said that. Look, Afterlife was good.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good.
But you
I
and
thought this would be better.
said,
I thought it'd be better because
You-
it's based in New York.
you and I said 2 years ago that that it wasn't Afterlife it had to stand up on. It was the film after that would define the new. And
Yeah.
they did not. I mean, the villain were just crap.
Okay.
It had potential. There were moments in there with potential, but then they started shoving all Easter eggs in again.
Right. Okay.
And there was
Just
no
to pull
need
him
for
in.
it. There was
Okay.
no need for it. There was no need. They should have just told a straight story of this new threat. They brought Peck back.
I knew that Peck came back.
Pointless. Totally
Okay.
pointless.
Right.
And it was like they were trying to replay certain sequences of scenes. And I think the young girl, her that plays Egon's granddaughter, she's marvellous.
Okay.
You do get an insight into the ghost world more, which is interesting. But the magic, it just wasn't there. It just wasn't. There were no... The spark wasn't there. When you saw Afterlife, there was something there. In this, there were nothing. Absolutely.
Yeah,
nothing.
I think it was a cash grab because Afterlife did quite well, and he just thought, "Oh, sod it, let's just do another one." And I like I said, I mean, I think what we'll possibly do is once I've seen it, we could do a proper review of it on the show, and I can actually properly, because I don't know, I am trying to steer clear of spoilers, which is hard, but I don't know, I just want to see it fresh.
Well, you might end up enjoying it. I would a bit. I mean, look, I don't hate the film. I'd probably, if I watched it digitally, I might enjoy it at home.
Yeah, it might be
But
better. Might be better.
It could be better. I find sometimes with these things that you see them in cinema and you think, well, that was shit. And then suddenly, 6 months later, you're watching at home and think, well, it wasn't that bad, actually.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Perspective can
So,
be different once
I'm
you've rewatched
I'm
it.
prepared to be open to give it that at least. But I wasn't impressed. I think the casting was superb. The casting, it was just the storyline. And
Apparently there
and
was,
the
there was a
villain.
big cast. I did read that there was a very big cast, which
Yeah,
in
it
some
was a
ways
big cast,
overshadowed each character because they didn't have enough time to focus on the actual film because they're competing against everybody else.
Yeah.
I heard that. So
that
but it's a
was
shame. It's a shame because, I mean, out of this year, the three films I've been looking forward to the most is actually four. The first is Dune 2, which I've still not seen yet, but I'll wait until that's
No, I've
digital.
not seen it yet.
I want to see the new Planet of the Apes movie.
I'm,
Is it,
I'm very hyped up for that.
that's not
actually.
far.
That's
And
a couple of weeks away.
that's not far. And then also the Alien Romulus one, which looks quite good. I think that's in the summer.
Actually, I would say from what people have been saying, it has potential.
Yeah, I think the trailer looked okay.
Yeah.
But a trailer could be, I mean, it's going back to the Ghostbusters. Everybody says that the trailer for the new Ghostbusters, all the best bits were seen
Oh, yeah.
in the 2-minute trailer. And that was the thing. And like, literally, they pulled you in with the trailer, and you basically had already seen the best bits from the trailer.
Yeah,
So-
the trailer, because I was really hyped up for Ghostbusters. And when I walked out, I was expecting to be walking out with like the theme in my head and being quite, I really enjoyed that.
Fulfilled,
And,
yeah.
I just couldn't. I just walked out there and thought, well, that was shit. I mean, it had its moments. Don't get me wrong. It was not the worst film I've seen.
No, but
You know what I mean? But it could have been better.
All right, so that's Ghostbusters. Okay, so we're going on to the new Doctor Who trailer, and it's all starting. That's not far off now. That's only about a month away from starting back on BBC One with
Did you read that article I sent you?
which one? Because you sent me quite a lot of stuff.
Well, I sent you an article about Matt Smith coming back.
Oh, that was a joke. That was on. That was you said that to me, and I said no. That was on April Fool's Day. Matt Smith's not coming back. 100%.
I thought,
No, I mean, no. You fell for it, did you?
no, I didn't fall for it at all. No, I did
What did you
not.
say it to me for then?
Because I wanted to pull a bastard.
You wanted to put, yeah, okay. Matt
Look,
Smith won't
give me
return
the
to it.
dignity of lying my way out of it, okay?
I mean,
I
I wouldn't
thought-
mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing him back.
fucking bring him back. I don't want him back.
I wouldn't mind seeing him for one-off. I mean, I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. Well, they've got David Tennant as the backup, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't know. And I know that Peter Capaldi said he's never going to come back. I don't know why. But it's weird with the previous Doctors. Obviously, the Christopher Eccleston one is the best example of someone who literally
Yeah, I
You
saw
know.
his thing at that convention.
sacked Russell T Davis,
Oh,
sacked
yes.
Julia Carter.
Yeah, I know. Quite
I put that on my
ruthless,
YouTube
wasn't
channel actually as a
it?
link.
Billy
I've got that.
Piper was sort of sat there like,
Yeah, no, but she was like
No,
looking
no.
up in the air, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, is there a fly
well,
around
you know,
here
I'd
or
like
something?
to get some more work out of this.
Yeah, she said that as well afterwards.
Yeah.
She said recently that if she was invited back for a special, she would return. So that's why she sort of
Yeah.
like kept out of it. So new trailer. What do you think about it with Shooty Gatwa and Ed All
Well,
and everybody else? And-
I think I'm in the same place as where you were before. I'm sat on the fence. Christmas episode were just awful.
Mhm.
I did like the Toy Maker one when he appeared.
Yeah, that was
I did.
good. Yeah, I like the Toymaker one. Yeah. That
I
was-
thought that was really good. And so Christmas episodes are quite dire, most of them.
Normally the Christmas ones are not very good.
Yeah.
You know.
So
not
I'm
anything worse.
gonna wait. I'm gonna sit on the fence. The trailer were nothing to be excited about. I just thought just him running. It's a lot of running about and some
He's always wearing different
situations.
clothes as well. I mean, I like the Doctor to keep a regular, similar outfit. That's what he normally does, or she now. With
Well,
with
he's
this
a
one.
new Doctor for the 21st century, isn't he? It's old. You know, he goes raving and nightclubbing and rest of it. So
Wears a
there you
kilt.
go.
And things like, I don't know, mate. I don't know about this.
Well, the Doctor's wore a kilt before.
Yeah, right. Tom Baker did. I
did,
know,
yes,
in the one
yeah,
with
yeah.
the Zygons. I
I
remember.
think Patrick Troughton did as well.
Did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Then that's down. I didn't know Patrick Troughton did. I know that Tom Baker did in Terror of the
Could be wrong.
Zygons.
I think he did.
Yeah, he did. That was Zygons was the one in Scotland, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, okay. All right. Good comeback, Martin. So we got that. I guess the next big one to ask you about is Star Trek Discovery has returned with a 2-part release from season 5, episode 1 and episode 2. I've seen them both. What do you think?
When the second episode magically appeared,
Mhm,
so I
well, it
watched
does.
them both
Yeah.
Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Saturday night, I put them on at 9 o'clock. Got the environment right. I sat down and watched them.
Got the environment right. What? Did you put a plant up by the telly or something?
Well, no, I just got it all converted, ready for the
Okay.
the 2-hour premiere of Star Trek Discovery,
Mm.
and I'm gonna say I was fucking impressed.
Yeah, and you. But we've said
I
that every
was, yeah,
every
yeah,
season
yeah.
we've said that, haven't we?
Well, sold
Every
on
bloody
it.
season.
I was sold
No.
on it. I think within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
When I saw a frozen picture of a guy that played a Romulan extra for 5 minutes in an episode, and the base
30 years ago.
30 years ago, and they based an entire story arc on this guy who stood there with a disruptor.
And
who
he was just an
a
extra.
security
Yeah, he was just an
guard.
extra, yeah,
but
yeah.
oh, let's make him a scientist 30 years on. You know what I mean? But
I
it
think
works.
it really works. It really
works.
was a great
It worked.
idea.
And I thought, right, that's an easy way around. And then I saw Jean-Luc
Yeah.
and the progenitor, and I thought this looks and then I
this
went
looks
and
good.
then I went back to season 4, the Galactic Barrier.
Yeah, but I think this has got more of a chance of winning this one.
Oh,
This is not a big threat.
You've
This
got
is
more
more-
faith than me.
No, I know. Okay, okay. First of all, I also loved Fred. Fred was great.
Fred was superb.
Don't we? I mean, they've got to bring back
should be in
Fred.
Star Trek Legacy.
Yeah. Well, no. Wait. No, he was made 600 years ago, I think. So he would be after Legacy.
Oh, right.
But I love
well,
Fred.
They could have Fred's granddad.
Yeah, well, they could make him another copy of him. Like Fred is a copy of.
Because there could be loads of
Jim.
Freds out there.
It could be. Yeah,
loads
he
of
could have
them.
a brother called Jim or something, or Jack, or
Yeah.
Nigel, or Joey, or
Bill. Well, obviously there's a whole line of Freds that got built, so
yeah.
you know I'd like to see more Freds.
But that was an interesting
You know.
tie. I never thought we'd get anything like that. I thought that was
No, I
fascinating.
didn't. I was surprised.
I was really
And
surprised
the
about
minute
that.
I saw him, I knew.
Oh yeah, so you saw
Within a
it's like
second,
Android.
I thought
Yeah.
he's got a positronic, but he's built from the data class, but not as advanced.
I love that.
And
love that.
I just thought it was fantastic. I did find, like, with the two villains, Lack and Block, Lack and Mol, Molac.
Yeah,
Mol
Lock
Lack.
and Mole. Yeah.
When I did get a feeling of sort of like when they were on the speeder bike thing, and them two reminded me of the two villains from Ahsoka somehow.
Oh. Yeah, somebody
I
else said that
remember-
she reminded them of
Of her, yeah.
is it Shin? Was it Shin? Was the
Shin,
the-
yeah.
yeah. I
And-
could think. I could see that now. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see a parallel.
and the other thing, well, when they're doing Spider-Bite thing,
Yeah.
it reminded me of like an episode of Ahsoka or Mando on like
It did have a slightly Star Warsy.
Star Wars
It was
feel to it, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of money thrown into episode 1 with the.
oh bloody
I mean,
hell, yeah.
I mean, when the whole city's crumbling and 2 starships acts as a barrier. That was cool.
Oh, that was
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah, that was
Oh my
cool.
god,
Yeah,
that was really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And also a lovely shot of the protagonist's ship. You can actually see it traveling at warp, but you're not at warp yourself. And it goes into the warp bubble at the beginning. We've never
Yeah.
seen that in Star Trek ever.
No,
And
no, I thought
thought that
normally,
was very good. Very
because
good.
normally you'd be blown
You're
off,
already
you'd be
just at warp
vaporised
or-
off the ship, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really cool, actually.
Because she was within the bubble, she was protected, wasn't she?
Yeah, and also she's So I just thought it was, but episode 3, prepare yourself. Get
Well,
she's
yeah, yeah.
No,
I mean,
I know he's coming back in episode 3, and it's one of my least favorite characters ever in the history of Star Trek.
Well, go on, no. I'm not.
Gray.
go on.
That awful Trill character, which remember Gray?
Oh, yeah. Forgot about.
I couldn't
forgot about
stand that character. No.
Yeah, because she got a robot body, didn't she?
Yeah,
and
Android
played off
body or
back
something,
to
and then they got rid of
yeah.
her.
Yeah, I
And
try
then-
not to remember the
Yeah,
fourth season.
but
I
it's just
really
one
try
episode.
not to.
Hopefully, it's just one episode on Trill, so I can handle one episode. So
Well,
think it'll be-
it's also, it's very stout. Well, like they've got the star map and they've got to assemble it
yeah,
of what is it? It's only 10 episodes, isn't it?
8. No, it's 10. You're right, 10. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
10.
Yeah.
So like they're gonna get the map and I think we're gonna see the Breen Emporium.
The Breen and
the
the
Breen
Tholians were
Imperium.
mentioned. I think the Tholians were mentioned as well, isn't it?
Yes, that's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
interesting. See the Breen.
I don't know if we're going to get all that. I've got the feeling that's just thrown in for Easter eggs. I don't think we're going to see them. We might do. We might do.
I'd like to see the Tholians or the
The
Breen.
Tholians we haven't seen properly since Enterprise.
No.
And
No.
we only saw them in the Mirror Universe properly.
They're
So
gonna- I think one of them's going to be introduced.
I'd love to see the Tholians again, especially if
Hey,
they've still
hey.
got those webs and that.
So, what do you think to this progenitor stuff then? I think there's one
very,
alright.
very interesting because it wasn't. I mean, in the chase, it was. It was worked out that this alien life had spread its DNA in most of the primordial soups of the
galaxy,
Milky Way
yeah.
galaxy planets, and that's why we resemble each other, apart from some bumpy heads and whatever. That's a big story, and it is definitely. This is a good idea. This is something
Well,
for long-term fans, which is a very, very strong idea.
yeah, but we thought that over the galactic barrier, didn't we?
Yeah, but
I mean, I have to be
don't know.
like this because I don't want. I'm fed up of following damp squibs. I don't. Like every time Discovery, the one good thing Discovery is really good at is the Cellar 2 episodes
start
at the beginning.
season premiere, and it's also
then-
Picard season 1 or season 2 is a good start, and then it fizzled out after about episode 3. So we've seen it before in Modern Trek, where it starts
Yeah.
with a great premise, then it just turns to shite.
Yeah, I don't want to like get to end of this and it's some kind of big moral decision of something and it puts everything you believe in and you can't do it. But if you do it, it's going to be morally wrong, and they have to do the right thing. And this thing, it's so like the big question, but they decide not to do it. It was like, and you sat there thinking, okay, right. So I've sat through 15 episodes of this for that. Because that's what we got with season 4.
Yeah, and season 3 was similar.
We did. We got basically a rip-off of Star Trek the Motion Picture to a point.
Yeah,
That's what I found. They were so advanced, didn't even know that we existed. And
I
they don't.
think this is going to be a better season though. I mean, it's funny that
Yeah,
when
no,
they-
I've got a feeling. This is what's going to disappoint me because
like Enterprise
if-
season 4.
Yeah, and we could be getting Enterprise season 4, and then it's going to be like, well, why couldn't they do the other 3 bloody series like this or 4? I mean, I gave up after dilithium things.
Oh,
I really gave up after
Yeah,
that.
that
burn.
was,
That's when I.
Yeah, but I like the fact that it is all coming back together now. The Federation are building new ships, and it's getting bigger again, and it's starting to make a big. It's been 2 years since the beginning of when they went to the 31st century, and I kind of like that progression is happening now.
I can see where the. I mean, you know, obviously you can make series now set 1,000 years in future. It's a nice door for them to go into, and I have to admit, I do like the characters. I like the Admiral guy.
Yeah, is it Admiral Vance, isn't it? I think
Admiral Vance, I like him. I love the dodgy secret agent Ed of 31 dude, in with the glasses.
Oh, David Cronenberg's character.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
he's
did you like the new Kelleran character, the one that's now first officer at the end of part 2 of Discovery, the one that was at the.
I think he could.
He was
end up
on
being-
Battlestar Galactica, that actor. I recognise him.
Yes,
He's
he
in a lot of
was.
things.
I think
he's
he
quite
could be the season's villain
Oh, do you? Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. Oh, maybe.
because I think. Do you remember the scene where they were with the president and the admiral, and he were kicking off,
Yeah, and that's when he gets. Yeah.
and then he lost it. Well, he got resigned. They made him resign. This guy's like old school, hard ass warrior type. He's seeing it all. Like there's threats out there that could destroy us.
Yeah.
And his attitude is, you go in there, you take them out now before they get a chance to.
Also, his race. We've only ever seen their race once before on an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. The Kellerans and the Talani, when they were trying to get rid of the Harvesters, and they were very, very two-faced. And
Yeah,
in
they
the
were.
end, they were full of shit, basically. So it makes you wonder whether it might be an indicative of his race that they're a bit two-faced and full of shit.
Yeah, I just got a feeling I don't know, I think he might be teamed up with them too.
Now, with the trailer, we saw some interesting things. So I've already said this to you, and I've spotted it, so have other people. We are seeing the USS Enterprise from Strange New Worlds in the trailer. Now, from what I understand, it is going to be a mirror universe Enterprise. How the hell is that going to play into this series, do you think? I don't know how they're going to do that.
Well, I don't know. I assume.
No idea.
I've got no idea. I mean, my theory for this series, I think the captain guy with the salad ears, I think he's connected to the two villains. I think we're going to see one of these bigger baddies. I think that Emmett's first off he's got an agenda, and I think he's going to somehow turn on them because he's got this attitude of everything's a threat. And it's going to bring conflict between her and Burnham.
Right. Okay.
I think that I could be wrong. This is my vision, but he's definitely connected to the two villains because he's known them a long time.
Right.
I think there's some connection, and it's whatever this thing is, this technology is it's going to be like it can be used.
Right. Yeah.
For both purposes, evil and good. I think he's going to play some part. I think some baddies are going to turn up.
Yeah, because we've only got the two. I mean, maybe because these two were kind of opportunists who came across this, and then of course the David Cronenberg character said, "Look, we've got to get them because we've got this thing." But then, how does he know anyway about this thing? I mean, there's a lot of stuff we're not sure.
A lot of they probably know a bit more than. But it is because whatever this thing is that's hidden somewhere, it's got a more. It's been classified for 800 years, so it was classified after Picard.
Yeah.
And even that Romulan scientist at the height of the Romulan Empire, he wouldn't even turn it over to his own people. It was that dangerous.
It was that dangerous, yeah.
Yes, and he was a loyal Romulan.
I'm intrigued.
So,
but
the mirror thing, I assume there's going to be some. They're going to. To explain Enterprise, there could be part of the map could be in some kind of temporal zone.
Yeah, there must be time travel.
And they have to go in and they come across a mirror Enterprise. But are we getting a mirror?
Oh, can we
Captain
get
Pike?
yeah, I was just wondering that. What if we get a crossover of some sort?
Yeah,
A new
because
universe Pike.
Don't forget when they had Michelle Yeoh's character, when they said to her in the last series before she went through the portal, they said her universe has moved further away.
That's right. She
So it's
couldn't get back. She had to go back in
get there.
time. She had to go back in time. Didn't
Yeah, to get there. But then again, last series there was that scientist who had created that device, and he came from parallel universe.
Oh,
Did he?
yeah,
I assume
yeah.
he got back. He was from the Mirrorverse, I think.
she? Was he? I know
I
she
think
was a
that-
face.
or
I can't
somewhere
remember.
like
I
that.
can't remember. I remember he was after this. Trying to get back to
Yeah.
his friend. I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
And
Anyway,
so
it looks
I-
good. It looks good.
I don't
it looks
know.
pretty good. I mean, it looks
That is the twist I think we've got coming. I also think that there's a progenitors. I think some progenitors still alive.
What if they turn out to be a race we already know somehow? What if there's something about a race that is existing in canon, which are actually the direct offshoot of the progenitors?
It could be done. It
I'd
wouldn't
love to see
surprise
that.
me.
Can you imagine
It
that?
would
Imagine
be.
there's something where, but then I suppose they couldn't because it depends. It would have to be an ancient race because we all were seeded back billions of years. I don't know. I'm
It could
talking
be
out
their,
loud.
it could be their descendants.
I suppose so. Yeah, but then technically we are.
Yeah,
their
but
descendants.
direct descendants.
Yeah, more
from
direct.
their line. Yeah, but I think when they get wherever they're going, which I'm fascinated by now, that I think there's going to be a progenitor alive. I'm hoping they were all evil. I think that'd be good. There was something darker about them.
Oh, a bit like the ancients and the
Preservers and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Iconians.
like the or the parallel to the prophets and the Par race from DS9 or something. Where you
yeah,
get this,
something
sort of
like they
a-
evolved or
an
something.
evil. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, one rumor is the progenitors became the Q. I mean, that's.
Although they have said in previous seasons of this that the Q have not been heard from for hundreds of years. I think
In 700 years, yeah, they said that last
they
series.
did say
didn't
that,
they?
didn't they? So
I don't know,
Okay.
it's an open book, but my theory is the captain that him, the two villains.
Kelleran,
I think there's,
the
I
Kelleran,
think
yeah,
there's
after
I think there's a connection there.
okay. All right. So let me quickly ask you: Star Wars: The Acolyte. You've seen the trailer. Carry on.
And nothing special. Watch it. It's. I've got the basic storyline. It's been leaked.
Yeah. Okay. It looks
Two
like it's-
sisters. One that despises the Jedi because the village got wiped out. The other sister got took by the Jedi. She becomes Jedi.
Padawan or whatever.
The sister stands in the devastation of the village where the Jedi never turned up to protect it,
Right.
and a dark force Sith Lord turns up and takes her, and
Okay.
and that's what you're getting. I was hoping for so much more than that. Not happy, but
Okay. We'll give it a
Yeah,
go.
well,
Give
yeah.
it a go. That's in June. All right. So before we go into our focus of the week, any other news? Anything else you want to share with us?
no, I think that's it. I think we've covered everything really. There's
Yeah. I'm
nothing.
trying to think of anything else that I've seen that I want to share with you. No, I don't think so. I think that's pretty
No.
much it. All right. Well, in that case, we'll go into our focus of the week. So we'll be right back. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi.
focus of the week.
All right, so this week we are focusing on a film which actually was recommended to me by a friend at work. Shout out to Paul. He does check out the show, and he likes science fiction, but he's not probably much into it as I am. But he said, "Have you seen The Island?" I said, "No." And he said it's a film with Ewan McGregor, and he said he liked it. And so I decided over our little break.
Actually, I mentioned it to you a couple of months ago.
Well, do you know, if you did, then it went completely over my head.
So I'd get that little point in.
Thank you. It's received and understood. And it's a film from 2005 which stars Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, and it's a film about Lincoln Six Echo, Ewan McGregor, who struggles to fit into a highly structured world in which he lives, isolated in a compound
and the series of events that unfold when he questions how truthful the world is. After Lincoln learns the compound inhabitants are clones used for organ harvesting, as well as surrogates for wealthy people in the outside world. Right, I like this film. What did you think of it? Tell me what you thought about it.
Well, when I did recommend it a few months ago,
and again, it went over my head, but go on.
I just thought I'd make a point
Thank
about
you.
that. Anyway, when I recommended it a few months ago,
Yeah, over the head.
on a series that very Logan's Run.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, do you know what? Now you mentioned the
Incredibly
parallel with
Logan's
Logan's.
Run.
No, I think. Yeah, my mate.
I did mention
he
that a
said as
couple of
well.
months ago.
And the guy at work said so as well. Paul said so as well. He said, yeah, he reminds me of Logan's Run. And yeah, there is a definite parallel with that.
Oh,
is
yeah,
quite interesting.
totally.
But different
The
enough.
nearest film you've got to Logan's Run is The Island.
Yeah, but it's different enough to
Yeah.
stand up in its own right.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I mean, I've always been fascinated with films where you have a person who's not living in really a real world. The Truman Show is another good example of that.
Oh, I love
very
Truman
clever
Show.
concept. I love that
Love it.
film. Really, really clever. Even though it's a comedy, it's much more than just a comedy. It's a very, very clever idea. And of course, as you said, Logan's Run was as well. And I mean, when I watched this film, I wasn't aware of the twist. First of all, I didn't look at reviews and everything, but it was that he's actually a clone. And it was weird because the inhabitants were acting a bit odd, and it was all very, everything's monitored, everything's very professional, and then of course you can win the lottery. This is the clever twist.
Yeah,
you
to the
can
island.
win the
Yeah.
lottery, and that's cool. They can go to the island, and that's it. It's like that's it. They've won, and they can leave. And of course, it's all bollocks. The lottery is just basically when the person in the outside world is got an issue with their health, and he's
Yeah.
a surrogate to fix them up. Clever
Yeah.
stuff. Love it. Really, really clever.
Yeah.
So when did you first see this film? When did you first hear about it?
Well, when I recommended it a few months ago,
Over my head.
just felt okay.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Right, no, seriously, I did see that this went to the cinema. I think it flopped actually.
Never heard of it. I don't know about it.
I came across it I bought it on DVD for about £2,
Okay.
and it was just one of the things I thought, well, £2 or whatever. Bought it and I watched it, and it was quite a while after it had been out, and I watched it, and I watched it a couple of times. I was so impressed with it.
Yeah.
And do you know, the one thing I loved about this film was the device to fly in motorbike with a machine gun on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'd love that when he's on the run and they bring it comes out of a van. It's like a flying.
Sort
It's
of
got
flying
a,
thing. Yeah, that's right.
got a 50 cal machine gun.
Yeah.
It's flying
Yeah.
after him.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And even by that time, I still hadn't got this figured out. And then you saw Ewan McGregor's his actual self phoning that Cub Corporation up, going, he said, my fucking life insurance is stood in my front room right now. do you know what I mean?
That was clever. That's
And
clever.
that's when you connected with it. It was like,
Yeah.
wow.
And it's all
You
a
know.
ploy, just to make these really wealthy people make sure that they've got a longer life and everything else.
Yeah,
And yeah, it was very, very clever. I mean, other aspects, I think that, first of all, I think it had a lot of great action sequences. It was it has a great mix of the contemplative sort of first half where you think, well, what's going on here and why are these people acting like this? And
Yeah.
I mean, I did almost try and see it again before reviewing it, but I just thought, no, let's just bring it for the first time I've seen it. But, and also, of course, Ewan McGregor would have just finished doing, I don't know which way around he did it, but it's the same year that he did Revenge of the Sith. So,
Yeah.
two
No,
very
it's quite an
different
old
roles.
film, don't know. It's quite old, don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's 2005, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
But it's Scarlett Johansson was great as her character as well. And what was her character in the real world? I can't remember what she was.
I think once she like
model or
somebody, was she a journalist or something?
Well, she, I
looking
can't, for some
into
reason, I
it.
can't remember where she was in the real
I've
world.
not seen it in years. I think she was like, well, he started off when he saw that moth because the salt world was destroyed outside, wasn't it?
That's right, and that's a clue.
And
that
it
he
was that
thought-
insect, and he kept it, and the builder guy he sort of made a friendship with,
Yeah, and
he was from
Ethan,
outside, wasn't he?
And Ethan Phillips was in it, who obviously played Neelix in Voyager. He was in it as well. He was one of
Yeah.
the actors in the the production area, whatever you want to define it as being.
And he got out, and I think she wasn't from in there. He met her outside. I think she was a journalist. I think.
Yeah. What I also
and they started from there.
What I also loved about it was almost like a time travel thing, where when they finally get out and they're in the real world and they end up in this bar, and they're starting to say things, and people are saying things in like contemporary slang. I think it was set. It was set about 20 years ahead. I think it was set around about now, but it was like what they thought it might be by now.
But it was illegal
like time
what
travel.
they were doing.
They were
was
completely
illegal.
out of it. I like the fact that they just didn't know.
They were inside. I remember it were 2 rocket silos.
Yeah.
They built that laboratory where they all lived and worked. And
That's right.
And it were like when they got into outside world, the head shock. Because about a third of the film is set inside there.
Yeah.
Of him questioning
What's going on?
there's something not right here, and he were getting like when they cloned him, he had some memory flashes of the other guy's life on the boat. The speedboat was very
Because they discovered there was some sort of new disorder or some new factor where some of the clones can start to actually get memory flashes of the host bodies, which was a new thing. Apparently. I think that was a new kind of issue that they was just starting to work out.
And the whole thing was illegal. The whole thing, it was illegal because the ending's brilliant. Very reminiscent of
Logan's Run when they
the
come
ending
out
when
of the
one of the domes
city.
blows open, they all walk out.
I got that, and they're all got their white kind of like work sort of outfits on, and they're all running along.
Ending.
I love the ending. That was awesome. Yeah, it was really, really good.
It was a film that so went under the radar.
It went under my radar. I would have definitely checked it out if I'd known about it. I mean, it's quite often either from you or YouTube or whatever. I'm hearing, or even from people at work. I'm hearing about the odd film and think, have you checked this out? I'm like, no. And then you watch it. Yeah, this is really good. This is really worth checking out. So great.
I'm glad your friend brought it up because he obviously watched it. He must have been very sort of impressed with it.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you know
like
what I mean?
said,
I was when I first saw it. I thought, well, I never knew I remember the posters for it.
I don't know anything about it.
That's all I remember. It were in SFX magazine. I didn't really take much notice of it. I thought it was one of these, like, oh well, I'll just watch that on Sky Movies at some point,
Yeah.
And I never saw it, and then one day I watched it. It must have been about 5-6 years after it were made, and I thought, this is bloody mad. Why haven't I seen this before?
No, and it's I wonder if it's because the island, it's a good name, but it doesn't stand out as a title of a film.
No, maybe
sometimes, I mean, the island could mean anything. It's such a generic sort of title of a film.
I think it's based on a book.
Oh, and they just used the book,
I've not read it, but I think it was taken.
But I do think sometimes a film can go under the radar if it's got a name that doesn't stand out.
Yeah,
I mean, you think
name's everything.
You think of a name like Ghostbusters, that's going to do well. You think of a name like something which is really sort of like questions what's that about, like Soylent Green, or but it's like
but it's Soylent Green. The thing Soylent Green I'd go if it was the poster.
Yeah. I mean,
posters play a big part. Yeah, because there was a film called Monster Squad. I think we've reviewed it. I remember when I was going to, when it was like coming out same time around like Ghostbusters in that time frame, and Buckaroo Banzai and all that.
Yeah.
They had the posters up in the cinema, and none of these films arrived at the cinema. And I remember Monster Squad. I remember poster were really into Dracula. They were all there, and it never arrived at the cinema. And then about 8 months later, we're out on VHS, and I never forgot the poster. Now I did see the poster for the island. I remember it, and I just thought it was one of them like they're all trapped on an island with something weird going on. They've made that type of film before.
but I didn't
know it was this concept.
I did the graphics for this from the posters, and it was one of the sort of like a brownie hazy sort of like hot area where you got Johansson and Ewan McGregor. And I've mixed it in, but it's all right. But what I'm saying is that the poster doesn't stand out. It could be anything. It could be a detective film. It could be a film about.
on an island.
It doesn't
Oh, some
strike you as
mystery.
something on our genre.
Well, I
radar.
didn't think it was science fiction, and to me, I
No.
just thought that they end up on this island. There's some loony there, or some kind of thing, and they're running about, and they stop it. That's it. And then when I I agree. You're totally right. The name, the island, it doesn't. I mean, it's something you'd look at and think, right, whatever.
Yeah.
And I might watch that on Sky Movies 4 years down, like, because it's
Yeah.
finally.
If
popped
you're really
up.
bored, you've got nothing to watch. Yeah.
Or it's one of them you see it in a shop and nobody's buying it, and then
No.
that's how I came. So I got it cheap. I bought it very cheap. I remember 'cause I still got the DVD,
Right.
and I watched it on one night, and I thought, bloody hell, that were good. I were really taken out. I remember
Yeah.
telling Pete, I said, you need to check out this film, The Island. And all I kept getting from it, most of it, it was like a copy. And when I started reading up on it it was like, it was the nearest film you got to Logan's Run.
Yeah. Yeah.
The nearest film. But it's like
It's
Logan.
different. It's very different, but there are
Yeah.
parallels. It's clever.
Yeah, it's like Logan coming out of the Dome City and
Yeah.
we're all out here living our lives.
That's it. Yeah.
And that's what I found fascinating. And the ending, I just thought, the payoff at the end, when he frees, there is people when he frees them, and all media's there, and helicopter, and everybody's like, they're all walking out.
That's it. And there's too late now. They can't go back.
Yeah.
It's all been exposed, which is really clever.
But the moment that really did it for me was when the other Ewan McGregor said what he said. He said,
insurance policy.
my insurance policy
Yeah.
sat in my front room right now, and I was like, what? Oh my God.
Love
That's when it all connected.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
they're all clones.
Yeah.
And you know, because he got on phone and he was a horrible person.
He was, wasn't he? And he had a Scottish
Yeah.
accent as well. It made him worse.
You know,
didn't it?
I mean, if you met a clone of yourself who were you, you'd be fascinated. I think you'd be freaked
Couldn't
but
give a shit.
also
He couldn't care less about.
fascinated
No, he couldn't
by-
care less. He couldn't care less.
that this other version of you with this woman is in your front room. And,
Yeah.
and that's what makes this film stand out. That is the one thing in this film that made this film for me.
Yeah.
When he just phoned up and he said, my fucking life insurance policy
Sit on my
is
sofa."
it was sat on my sofa right now. What are you gonna do about it? And it's a way that meeting yourself, and it meant nothing to him.
No, he couldn't care less. He just saw it as a fear that he could get ill.
Yeah.
It's like, getting back there. I don't care about him. If he gets hurt, then if I get ill, then
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what made this film. This film should have been. It should be more recognised for what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I've never seen a lot of reviews on it.
No,
I've
I never heard about it. And like
No,
you said, you have
no.
mentioned it, but I didn't. Again, maybe when you picked it up.
I think your mate did well choosing that.
Yeah, thanks,
Because
Paul, mate. Thank you for that.
I want. To be honest, I wouldn't have really thought about it.
No,
that much.
I mean,
It's
like
one
I
of
said-
them. The island. It's like.
No.
But seeing it, I'm going to watch it today. Actually.
Yeah, I might give it a rewatch. I've only watched it once,
give it a
but I
watch,
think
actually.
yeah, I think I might do as well.
But
actually.
it's a
Yeah.
fantastic film, and I think the payoff at the ending. It was nice to see a film like that with a positive ending. as
It
well.
was. It just made you feel good at the end. It
Yeah,
was just,
yeah.
it's one of those films where it's got a great concept, it's got great execution, it's got great action, it's got great special effects, it's got great actors,
Yeah.
got a great happy ending. You feel like, yeah, that was a good 2 hours of my life, which I really enjoyed.
And what I thought about I mean, like the film, it's like the clone of the horrible person. He was so innocent, and it was like his attitude. He was so like, I know he had the evil guy's qualities, but he was like, it's like me. What's interesting when he was in his front room, there was a nicer version of what it basically also it does answer what could have been if you'd have been different.
Based on stimuli, like
Environment,
experiences.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he cared about the people who works with him, that thing.
Yeah,
And he was
a nice
like
person,
a decent.
Yeah. He was.
But
a
when he
decent
met
person.
the original version, he was like it's
He's a
like
twat.
meeting it's like meeting the evil version of you. There's so much in this film, the quality,
Oh, no.
the factors, and I love that flying motorbike thing with it. I just thought that was an amazing futuristic piece
I
of
love it.
technology.
Yeah, it was really, really
Great
good.
film.
Really. Well, listen, I suppose it's time to review it, rate it rather, before we finish off the show. Shall I go first this week? I'm going to give it a 8.8. Quite high.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the same as you.
Okay. It's pretty high.
I think it's, to be honest, I think if it had been more known, I think you could have pushed this up to a 9.
Yeah, but then I would have seen it years ago, and it probably would
That's
be
what
higher.
I mean.
But, you know, I mean, for me, to get a high rating like that for a first review is pretty good. Thumbs up anyway.
I think it's good.
You know, if I'd have seen it like 10 years ago, it'd probably be a 9.2 or something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's. I just think the film should be given another chance.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I
I'm
really do.
really. I'm so glad I've seen this. And again, Paul, thanks very much, mate. It's really
Cheers,
good that
buddy.
you told me about it. And like I said, I know you've been mucking about, but again, when you mentioned it in the past, I actually partly think you said the island. When you just said that,
if you'd have said that to me, I'd have been like,
I was like, "Oh, see the island." No, I didn't see that.
it's two people.
Yeah,
they
it's
end
just
up
such
on
a
an
forgettable
island
name.
on a speedboat, and there's something weird going
Yeah,
on.
and it's kind of like,
and they stop it.
yeah.
That's it. And how many films have we seen like that? How
Well,
many?
I've just seen another film which I don't know. You've probably seen it. It's a film called Old. Have you seen a film called Old?
Oh, not that. No.
You don't know that one either. Right, I was talking before you hit record.
Is
about
that
two
is
films.
that this? Is that the one? Is that the one where they all go to that beach and start eating?
Yeah. I think you
And
might like that.
it's a corporate thing.
It's a corporate thing, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't like
Because they
that.
start
So I
finding
talked
bodies.
about. I've seen Old and Knowing this week, and both films. You give me an expression with Knowing as well. So
I watched those. I've seen those. Right.
what?
I'm not
Go on.
knocking it. It's definitely different.
Yeah.
I've not seen that. I thought it was very clever. When
Right.
they got on that beach through that cave.
Do you want to review it?
It means no, because I have to watch it again. I'm not sitting through that again.
Can you do it by memory?
I could do it by
Do you want to
memory.
do it by memory next week?
Oh,
then? No.
statement.
Come on. I'll tell you what.
No,
I'd say what, if we do Old next week, then you can.
we're not doing fucking old next week. No, we're not.
All right. Okay. All right.
I'll do it in a couple of weeks. I
All
need
right.
to
Well,
prepare
you.
for that.
What do you want? All right, what do you,
And I'm not doing knowing. I'm not. Oh God, not
actually,
knowing.
I'll tell you. That's one thing I thought about.
Not
We could-
knowing, please.
I tell you what, we could review. It's one because we've done so many TV series.
Yeah.
What about the remake of Survivors? We've never reviewed that.
I've never seen that.
You've not seen the remake of Survivors?
I've not. That's the BBC one.
Yeah,
when
the
they
remake.
remade it.
Did you
I
not
never
see
watched it. You watched it.
I
You're
thought you saw
more.
that. Oh, I can't
Yeah,
review
no,
that.
I've seen the old ones.
Yeah.
You're more. We talked about the remake once.
Yeah,
before.
but I thought you'd seen that the remake. Oh, okay, we can't
No, I'd
do
have to watch it.
that. Oh, okay, all right. What?
I'll
so
tell
you-
you, when I watched the podcast
Yeah.
last week, you and your friend, he mentioned the series I've not seen, but I have mentioned it, and he confirmed what he said at Silo.
Oh, how many episodes are there? Is there
I think there's
chance-
10, I think.
Well, do you,
It's an Apple TV thing. Well, your friend said it was really good. I've
well, do
seen
you
the
want to
trailers.
tell you what? I mean, I'm actually on holiday. I mean, I'm busy for a couple of days this week, but I could cram it all in this week. Do my homework.
That means I have to watch it, don't
But
I?
do you want to? That's what I'm saying. Or what about? All right, I know we're sort of like talking out loud. Okay, I've got another idea. How
Yeah,
about we
go on.
do? What about if we review? Cause you said you want to review this. You like this. Why don't we then review next week Free Jack?
Yeah, definitely.
If
I'm
you
up
said
for
that-
that. I need to, because I'm still doing
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, don't
If I'm
forget,
going to
you've only-
sit through Silo,
Yeah,
I've
alright.
got to make a day of it.
Right, so
And
why
I
don't
have
we
to get
do
my
Free Jack next week?
headset.
We'll do Free Jack next week. Then we've got a couple of potentials coming up when you had a chance to actually look through. So
I'm
why-
definitely up for it, Jack.
yeah, I know you were. 'cause
I
did
love
that
Free Jack.
ages ago. Yeah, I'll see that as well.
I'm
So-
forgiving you for watching Knowing, you know.
Oh, I like that film.
No, it's all right, I understand. No, don't. Look, to be honest, on a serious note, I didn't
Go on.
mind it. I found Knowing it had a lot going for it at the start, and I just found the ending utterly depressing. I'm a positive type
It's a
of
very
guy. I
different
like a
ending
positive
from,
ending.
Very different ending from the island, shall we say? It could be any more
Yes,
different. Really, could
yeah.
it?
When they wouldn't let him go with his kid to that planet, it was just. I thought that was unfair. After everything the father had done for the child,
yeah.
and then they're like, the aliens are saying, "Look, sorry, mate, you're going with the rest of them. We're taking you." I mean, how could you trust these aliens? I mean, let the kid, let his dad go, for crying out loud.
But they were a bit young, weren't they? They were a bit young to be left
Well,
alone.
you're all running around,
With the
not
tree, with the space
traumatized
tree.
about losing the parents. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to create an unstable race of new humans there, aren't you? You know, and how they're going to survive? Who's going to teach them?
Well, we don't know. They went towards that tree thing, didn't they? And that was the end of it, wasn't it?
All right. Well, it was just, that's the only reason I hate that film. That is the only reason. The 80% of the film I found enjoyable.
So if Nicolas Cage's character survives, it would have gone.
I probably would have done. But if you want to review it, I'm up for reviewing it.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll see. But let's do it. Look,
No, I'll review it.
All right,
You've
I'll
won
tell you what.
out.
Look,
You've
next
won
week
out.
now. Okay, next week it's your turn, and also this is one you really want. We'll do a free chat next week,
Yeah.
and then we've got coming up Silo, Knowing, and maybe at some point if you get a chance watching Survivors as well, the remake.
There's one film I can't stand, and I want to review it with you.
Oh, what's that?
And we mentioned it today. Signs.
Signs.
Mel Gibson.
Oh.
Family in the Farmhouse.
Yeah, I
Little
know,
girl
yeah.
wearing
Yeah.
tinfoil around, and that stupid, ridiculous scene of the alien.
Right, don't tell me. All right, okay. Right. Free chat
Signs.
next week, and we've got some others coming up. We'll put
Yeah,
these in episodes to come soon. So, Martin, thank you very much. Thank you, Paul, again at work for recommending this one. It's been a good one. We're going to end with something that Martin told me about, which was this weird 1950s retro Star Wars.
Yeah. Can I?
Go on.
Before we go
on.
I saw that this morning. Somebody posted it somewhere. It came up on the notification.
I saw it after you
Don't
told
know
me.
who posted it. It was there, so I sent it to you straight away.
I know.
After I watched it, that one made by an AI.
I know. You know, I'm into all the AI stuff now.
Yeah,
And it's like, but this is different. This is AI video, and it would look really good.
Oh, didn't it?
It
I
did,
thought,
I
couldn't
thought,
you watch
yeah.
that as a full movie?
I would love to have seen that in the 1950s.
Yeah.
So this is an
Very
AI sort of trailer based on 1950s Panavision thing of Star Wars.
Yeah.
If it had been made in 1955 rather than 1978, I and Martin will both be blown away by it. Let's see what you think about it.
Will it get past the YouTube copyright?
Yeah, it'd be right. It'd be okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. And also, what I'll do is I will post a link to the original creator out of thanks for them. That's what you do occasionally, and they normally find about it. So we'll do that. Martin, we'll catch you next week for Free Jack. Thanks for coming back, and we'll catch you next time on the Solar One
Long and
Sci-Fi
prosper,
podcast.
yeah.
In a galaxy far, far away, where the forces of light and darkness clash amidst the stars, a timeless saga unfolds. Behold the epic struggle between the noble Jedi Knights, guardians of peace and justice, and the sinister Sith Lords, masters of the dark side. Meet Luke Skywalker, a young farm boy destined for greatness. Princess Leia, a fearless leader of the Rebel Alliance. Han Solo, the charming rogue with a hairy sidekick. And Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith. From the desolate sands of Tatooine to the bustling streets of Coruscant, from the frozen wastelands of Hoth to the lush forests of Endor, their adventures span the galaxy. But as the Rebel Alliance fights to free the galaxy from tyranny, they must face the might of the Empire and its fearsome army of stormtroopers. Yet, amidst the turmoil, hope flickers like a distant star, as alliances are forged, friendships tested, and the fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance. Get ready for a journey beyond imagination, where heroes rise, villains fall, and destinies are forged among the stars. Star Wars, a saga of epic proportions that will captivate audiences for generations to come. May the Force be with you.